Okay. This is not good. Good morning. Good morning, Jen. Good morning, Joy. Good morning, Amanda. Good morning, Mary. You finally caught up. Yay. Well, we're at the end and we're about to start our next book tomorrow, I think, which is why, just so you guys know, I pinned this because I found a really cheap copy of Tale of Magic for anyone who doesn't have it and wants to get it to read along. Freaking $9. That's amazing. So I was like, well, I should show them. How's your baby girl? She's good. Let's chat. What's she doing? She's playing with a jellyfish thing. I don't know. It's just what she wants right now. Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, oh, I should tell everybody that's... Oh, this is very full. Okay. Only $9. Which I was like, I don't think I've ever seen it that cheap. So, if anyone doesn't have a copy, but wants a copy, there you have it. What is going on here? What is going on here? What is happening in my coffee maker? Come on. Why do you have to get stuck like this? It's the only complaint. Like, the pods get stuck there and then it like gets, hey, Ray, how you doing? Gets like held up, you know? It's my only real complaint. You guys hear her? She goes, she's got a snack with her. Autumn only got up 2 times last night. I think we're ready to do. Yeah, we're in a new era also. We only got up 1 time last night, which was really great, and it was mostly my fault, not hers. And on top of that, she slept an extra hour in the morning, which is kind of amazing, but also it means we're not napping, of course, but I'll take it. I hear you, baby angel. I hear you. Mommy's coming in a minute. Can you keep playing with your toys while Mommy does this? Mommy has to put away the coffee stuff. Oh, I gotta get my glasses. What do you think of that? What do you think of that? Glasses for Mommy? She says, time to shift and make mental space for brother. Yeah, really. Tell me about it. So walking, commencing, and we're really close. Jen, are you saying that because of the video that I took? Did I show you guys the video that I took? She's finally using her walker and she can stand independently for like 15 to 20 seconds, which is kind of a lot actually. And I think the only reason she falls after that is because she like realizes she's standing and then she doubts herself. But I think she could actually stand longer if she didn't realize it was happening. Oh, just the sleeping. Yeah, true. Autumn loves coffee, AK milk with a dash of flavor. Yeah, of course. All the kids do. We're just now getting real milk for this. Well, I mean, all the milk is real milk, but wow, that's loud. That's loud. Which finger did he bite? This little finger on the right. That's how it goes. Hey, Naisa. For anyone who wasn't in here before when I said this, the reason that I have Tale of Magic pinned instead of Emily Wilde, which we are reading today, is because not only do we start Tale of Magic tomorrow, but I found this copy, which is only $9. And so I figured anyone who didn't have a copy yet might want a $9 copy, because I can't imagine getting books that cheap anymore. Hi, beautiful angel. So yeah, Tale of Magic is going to be amazing for all of us, old and new. Anyone who hasn't experienced Tale of Magic, you're in for a treat. Anyone who was with us last time we did Tale of Magic, I think we're going to probably see new things that we didn't see before, because, you know, it's new. Or, I mean, like, it's a, you know what I mean? Whatever. Are you building with blocks? Yeah, that's so nice. So anyway, I just wanted to point out that that's why I have that here. So that's going to be there for the reader or whatever. So if you're looking for a cheap copy of it, it's about as cheap as it gets unless you find it used somewhere. Okay, so anyway, that's not what we're reading. So let's go back. Oh, and they do have the box set also, but the box set isn't cheap. 29 bucks, 3 books, a little less than $10 a book. It's not awful, but it's not as good as the $9 book. So I don't know. Is that a Chewy? Yeah, good job, you found it. So anyway, those are the ones I found, you guys, for tomorrow's book. But that's not what we're reading today. Today we are hopefully finishing, dun 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 dun, where is she? Emily Wilde, Encyclopedia of Fairies. Yeah, hopefully we're gonna finish it today. Let's see if we can. If we do, we don't have much to go. So it does seem likely, right, my angel? Yeah? Yeah? Are you playing peekaboo with Mom? Where are you? Where'd she go? Wait, where'd you? There she is. She's hiding behind her playpen and then bouncing up so that she can look. Where are you? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? I can't see you. Where are you? Oh no. There. I think she doesn't realize that there you are. There's slats in the playpen, so I can see through it. I can see her no matter where she goes. Ha! There you are. Where'd she go? Where'd you go? Where? There you are. Hi. Are you playing with your rainbow abacus? Anyway, it's very funny. You should try to let go. What if you just stood up? What if you just stood up? What do you think? What do you think? You want to be a big girl? You want to be a big standing girl? Let go. You can let go. I know you can. I have faith in you. My niece loves hide and seek, but she'll get a blanket and put it. Yeah, 100%. We have those little scarves that were from that one toy that came in her subscription box where they like put the scarves in the thing and they have to learn to pull it out, and she puts them over her head. It's very cute. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? I don't know. Where's Mommy? Where's Mommy? There she is. Where's Mommy? Where's Mommy? There she is. Did you find Mommy? Yeah? Where's your phone? Can you get your phone? You want to make a call? Where's your phone? I don't know. You got to find it. If you bring it to me, I'll make a call. Morning, Brittany. All right. Well, let's see if we can finish this book today. We are on the 4th of February, page 297. Yeah. Can you find your phone? Where's the phone? Where is it? You want to make a call? If you find it, we can make a call. You ready? It's time to read. I have read over my last entry, contemplating scratching out and starting anew, out of some misguided desire to make it sound more plausible. But Wendell and I will reach London tomorrow, and a day is insufficient time to accomplish what a year would be insufficient to do, I suspect. Oh, so we've left Frosnick. My niece is obsessed with the Wiggles now. Oh, you know, we haven't ventured into any of that stuff yet. I'm trying to hold off as long as I can because I don't think mentally I could handle a Wiggles obsession where I had to watch the Wiggles day in and day out. We haven't done any, like she watches football with Dad, but that's really the only TV she's seen. So I don't know how that's going to go when we finally introduce kids shows. She hasn't seen any of them yet, but we'll see. The video with Humpty Dumpty was so funny. It was. Yeah, I'm worried for all those shows that she'll like get into an obsession and ask for them all the time. You know what I mean? So I'm like, if we just don't introduce them to her yet, she won't know that she can ask for them, you know? That's my current goal. I know it won't last forever. I'm not naive enough to think I can go the rest of my life without sticking her in front of a TV to like cook dinner for 2 kids or whatever like that. But for now, when there's just one of her, we'll see. I don't think I could handle the Wiggles. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. If I do give her kids shows, I might give her like old kids shows from when we were younger so they don't drive me so nuts. Because when I was watching Zoe and Ethan, listen, Bluey is very nice, but when you have to watch Bluey on repeat for 4 days, yeah, or Mickey Mouse Clubhouse on repeat for 4 days, you know what I mean? Yeah, Blippi is educational, but when you have to watch anything on repeat, whether it's good for them or not, you start to lose your mind, right? I mean, like, how many times can you watch it on repeat before you really are just like, I'm done here? You know what I mean? Whether it's good or bad, irrelevant, right? You're just like, I can't do this anymore, you know? So I'm trying to hold off for my own sanity currently. Yeah. We'll see how long I last. I don't know. Right? Yeah. Yeah. I will say at Christmas, yeah, I've only showed her the shows that I watched before. Yeah. At Christmas, we did as a family watch Mickey's Christmas Carol. That was very sweet. So she has seen that. Yeah. We tried to watch one other Christmas movie, but she fell asleep like 10 minutes into it, so I don't think that counts. You want a snack? Can you hand it to Mommy and I'll get you a snack? If you bring it to Mommy, I'll give you a snack. You have to bring it over here, though. You're not even within reach distance. You have to walk over here. Can you come and bring it to Mommy? You're too far. You got to come over here. I know you can do it. Wow. That was potentially the laziest way. She loves musicals, so it shows she loves it big enough. Oh, yeah. I mean, musical stuff is 100%. We play music all day, every day. Here you go. What? My husband, actually, for Christmas, one of the things he got me was a speaker for the living room so I could play music out loud for her and not use my phone. You don't want it? Why did you ask for it then? Here. They're right here. If you change your mind, they're right there. Because that's silly. You handed it to me, and then I gave it to you, and then you want to come out here? I don't think you do. I think that's not true. All right, let's keep reading, okay? Can you get your phone? Or a book? Get a book. Where's the colors book? Can you get the colors book for Mommy? Where's the colors book? Go find the colors book. Oh, you want to show them that? Okay, I'll show them what you have. This is what she wants you to see. She just handed me this to show you. Wow, we built something very cool with our blocks. Here you go. Good job. You did a great job. Yeah, I already showed them. I don't have to show them again. They've seen it. Yeah. Nay. Is it a horsey? Okay, in here. Can you make another one? There you go. My memory of the journey back to Hrafnsnes is hazy. The snow stirred up from the mountainside as we descended down to form an icy fog. Aussie fog? What is that? It seemed somehow to mingle with the enchantments that bound me to the king. In one corner... What's wrong? Why are you crying? You're fine. Right? Yep. You have your snack. You have your toys. All good. Snack. Snack. Yeah, snack. There you go. Good job. I recall Wendell swearing in both Irish and Fey as he tried to disentangle me, although we thought we made it out of the palace, scraps of the enchantment still clung to me like the broken filaments of a spider web. I don't remember the others being there at all, and later Oslog told me that Wendell would appear and disappear, leading them through the mortal realm as he gradually drew me out of the fairy one. I suppose they walked alongside me the whole time, a whole world away. Yeah? You just want the bag? It's empty. There's nothing left in there. I already took them all out for you. You want the other one? The other one? I don't know how we're going to finish this book if you don't let Mommy read. Hey, look. Okay, you want it over here? You want to come out and have it here? Yeah? Okay. Let's use our inside voice. Say, la, 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 la. La, 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 la. What? There you go. They're right here. There you go. Can you eat these? Here they are. Oh, the puppet. You want him away. Too scary? Okay, I'll move him. I'm sorry you can see him. I forgot he's not your friend right now. Okay, goodbye, puppet. See, all gone. All gone, puppets, all gone. He's all gone. All done. He's done. He's gone. He's gone, sweetheart. Honey, he's all done. You can still see him? My goodness. This child. Okay, look. We're going to put a blanket over him. See? Bye-bye. Bye-bye, puppet. All gone. All gone. He's all gone. All gone. Do you want milk? Sweetheart, do you want milk? What would you like? Talk to Mommy. Look at Mommy. Do you want milk or snack? You want something from in there? She's real mad at that puppet, you guys. Here, you want the sheep? No? Do you want to go in there? You're okay, sweetheart. You just need a hug for a second? Do you just need a hug? You need a mommy hug? What's that? The horsey? That's not a play horsey, that's a decoration horsey. Do you need a hug? Yeah? You want a hug? Yeah. Oh, thank you for the pats on my back, sweetheart. Thank you. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Do you want to get that book for Mommy? Can you get that book? Where's Ellie hiding? Can you get where's Ellie hiding? Do you want Mommy to come in here? Okay. Hold on. Mommy's gonna come in. Mommy's gonna come in. You're not ready to be alone today, and that's okay. Okay, look, Mommy's coming. Mommy's coming right now. We're gonna go together. What did he do to her? Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, Mommy's coming right now. Can you wait 1 second? Mommy's coming right now. Can you be patient and wait for Mommy? I'm right here. See? Look, Mommy's right here. Okay. Look, here's all your toys. I'm in here. We did it. You got your wish. Mommy's here. Mommy's right here, honey. Mommy's right here. Look, here. There you go. Okay, in 3, 2, boom. Okay, see? All better. Mommy's in here. Mommy's in here. Let's finish the book, okay? Let's see if we can finish today, yeah? Okay, you're fine. Mommy's right here. Yeah. No, you can't have the tripod. Panic at the ticket. Oh, no. How did it go, Anya? Did you get tickets? Did you get them? How bad was it? Sweetheart, you can't have the tripod. Oh. No phone. At first presale. Oh, it's at 11. Okay, okay, here. You want this one? Can you get that one for Mommy? Can you let go of the phone, please? Oh, good stand. Good standing. You stood without holding on to it. You don't have, here, let go. Let go, sweetheart. There you go. Here's Humpty Dumpty and your fishy. You have so many options. Yeah. Okay, let's do it together. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. I feel like half the country is covered in snow. Sweetheart, sweetheart. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. A $60 service fee is crazy. Can you go get him? He's way over there. Where did Humpty Dumpty go? Can you get him for Mommy? Can you get Humpty Dumpty for Mommy? Yeah, that's nice. My first clear memory is awakening in the cottage. I was lying by the fire in a soft pool of blankets. I was confused by this at first, for my bed would have been more comfortable, until I realized that despite the blazing fire and the layers of furs, I was still shivering lightly. It was a chill that would not leave me for several days, and which I still felt at times when the sea's winds picked its slippery way through the cracks in my cabin. Oh my. Shadow lay curled at my side. He rolled upright with a delighted snore when he sensed that I was awake. He shoved his huge muzzle into my face and he licked me while I half patted and half swatted him away, afraid that his breath is immune to the glamour and smells exactly as you would expect a black hound's breath to smell. Rather deadly. No, like half a page, Susan, because somebody is not decided. You see how the tripod's moving? Yeah. That's how we're handling today. Oh, sweetheart, please. Please, sweetheart, can Mommy read? Sweetheart, go get Humpty Dumpty. He's right over there. Can you go get him, please? Can you go get him? He's over there. He's all the way over there. Can you go get him? Basically, she's just saying that they're on their way to London and they've made it out of the fairy realm. Yeah, she said absolutely not. Okay, honey. Honey, can you get Humpty Dumpty for Mommy? He's right over there. Sweetheart, please. Here, you have all these toys. You have all these toys. See, the problem is you think an own tripod will work, but decoy toys don't work on her. She just doesn't care. Whichever one I'm using is what she is going to want to have. Yeah. Okay, Mommy's going to move it out. We're going to move the tripod out just like we did before. Mommy has to apparently sit over here is the rule. Mommy's not allowed to sit in the comfy spot. Mommy has to sit over here. Mommy has to sit over here. Yeah, decoy toys do not work on this child. Okay, Mommy will sit over here away from her coffee and away from the comfy spot. That's what you want. You want the tripod to be away. Okay. All right, play, play, play. That was a ha ha ha, Mom. Yeah, for sure, ha ha ha. Yeah. Oh, there you are, Wendell said, his head appearing above my little blanket nest. He looked cheerful and supremely smug. And how are we feeling? Like I could sleep until spring. No time for that, I'm afraid. We leave tomorrow morning for Lobar. Tomorrow? You wish to hang about for the aftermath of what happened to the palace yesterday? Wendell shook his head. No, it's much safer to make ourselves scarce. In Lobar, we will seek passage on a merchant ship to London, captained by Ulfar's brother. Not an ordinary passenger vessel, I'm afraid, so accommodations will be Spartan. But it's our only option, as we've missed the freighter. She needs a relative she can FaceTime with during book club, so she has her own pocket people. Yeah, but then we wouldn't have quiet anyway. You know what I mean? So it's like, what's the point? What we really need is her to get to the point where she sleeps until 9 a.m. That's what we need, right? That would be the dream. If she could sleep till 9 a.m., like other kids, you know? There's babies who sleep till 9 a.m. She could be one of those. That'd be great. Ulfar will accompany us to Lobar and arrange things. What? I said fuzzily. 100 thoughts swam through my addled mind, and I grasped at the first one that felt almost familiar. What about the paper? Oh, it's just fine, he said, relaxing into the nearest armchair with his hands folded. No, sorry, I'm just fine. A little weary from dragging you all the way down the mountain, but beyond that, I'm simply glad to be leaving this land of ice. Odd, Oslog, and Finn are well as well. I glared at him. What about to... Amanda, in my sister's home, before Zoe went to school, her kids slept till 8:30 or 8:45, which is almost 9. It's pretty close. Yeah. And then Zoe had to start going to school, so they had to start waking up early, but that's not their fault. That's the school's fault. Yeah. I'm sure you were. He didn't seem annoyed, although there was a quality to his smile, and he gazed at me and I couldn't interpret it. Ard's gone back to the palace to request a favor from the king, he said. She should be back by nightfall. All seems to be going well. A favor, I repeated in disbelief, and then I thought about it. Oh, of course. She'll ask him to put an end to the snow. And he nodded. Yes, he owes her, so I suspect he'll give her whatever she wishes, although no one can ever be certain. Perhaps he'll shove her onto the throne in your stead. That's very nice, I said, and I'm the hard-hearted one? He shrugged. I did advise her against it. Anyway, I'll get you some tea. I was thirsty, I realized then, and hungry. He brought me a steaming cup and a plate of Poe's bread, soft and fresh and slathered with marmalade. After I'd devoured the lot, he rose again, and I heard a rustling, and then he tossed something onto my lap, a stack of pages neatly clipped together and covered in his elegant handwriting. We'll pay someone to type it when we reach Paris, he said, waving his hand. Oh yeah, Anara was an 8:30 or Connor finally raised it. Oh yeah, so see, you had one too. You can't work a typewriter? I murmured distantly, staring at the title. Oh, there are limits, Em. The title read, Of Frost and Fire, an empirical study of the folk of Lostland. Wow, that's a pretty cool title. Emily Wilde, Ph.D., M.Phil, B.Sc., D.D.E., and Wendell Bambley, Ph.D., M.Sc., H.O.N.S. I don't know what half those things mean, but they all sound lovely. They sound lovely. Hi. Hi. Where's Humpty Dumpty? You didn't get him for me. Can you get Humpty Dumpty? Yeah, go get him. He's over there. Can you get him? Did we know there's a sequel? We did know there's a sequel, yeah. But we have so many other things to read first, so we'll debate together whether or not. Oh, you're gonna grab it even from there? Wow. What's that? Oh, who's over there? Can you go get it? Oh my, look at all those things. Can you get them for Mommy? Here, can you get this one? Look, what's this? You're very mad at that? Okay, how about this one? Can you have this one? Sweetheart, what's the matter, honey? Honey, what's wrong? What's wrong, my angel? What can I do for you? Tell Mommy. Tell Mommy. Okay. You finished it, I said once I regained my use of my words. Fishy? Okay, we'll do Fishy one more time. Yeah, there is a sequel for sure. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I let him go again. Why did you let him go? Because he bit my finger so. Which finger did he bite? This little finger on the right. Yay! Where'd the fishy go? Go get him. Did I see a set of 3 books are not related? Could be. Could be. Yeah. Where'd the fishy go? He's over there. Go get him. Can you bring the fishy back to Mommy so I can do it again? Yeah? Ah. Hi, baby. Read it over, he said, somehow managing to look even more smug. I certainly will, I said so emphatically that he laughed. The bibliography is a bit of a hodgepodge, but that's your strong suit, isn't it? And the whole middle section is on habits of the common fae and is cribbed almost verbatim from your notes. But you might say, he added, examining his hands, that I did do most of the work. I would certainly not say that. He ignored me, and he began a long dissertation on his efforts while I was away, as I skimmed the pages, only half listening to him. He had been honest in confessing his reliance on my note. The majority of the paper was comprised of them, but he'd spun everything together in a truly unexpected way, filled with lively speculation and effortlessly clever phrasings that I could not have hoped to achieve. The effect was scholarly, yet glamorously weightier than Bambley's usual fare, and much more engaging than my own writing. I must remain like this for the present, it seems, he said, rubbing his hands over his face. It's a long and tiring process, changing shape, and I'm not sure that I have the patience to start today, but I'll be myself again before the conference. What? I said, giving him a blank look, and then I blinked, taking in his appearance unchanged from before. Oh, yeah, of course. He stared at me. You didn't notice? I said that I hadn't, and he stomped off to the kitchen in the high dungeon. I, in fact, had noticed in a drowsy sort of way when I'd first awakened that his hair hadn't returned to its golden waves. Baby, what is it? What is it, my angel? You don't want Mommy to wear glasses, but I need them. I need my glasses, honey. I need my glasses, sweetheart. Mommy needs them. Sweetheart, what is it? Tell Mommy. Do you want milk? No. Do you want food? You want Mommy's glasses. Okay, that's the one thing you can't have. I'm offering you toys, milk, food, but you can't have Mommy's glasses. That's the only thing you can't have right now. I'm sorry. I know it's hard. It's hard that we can't have everything we want. I know. I know, it's hard. But these are Mommy's glasses. Do I smell a poopy? Is it poops or toots? How are we coughing when we don't even have anything in our mouth? Are you coughing on air? Yeah, you're coughing on air. You're doing the pinch Mommy's neck thing. We're doing that. We have to pinch Mommy's neck because we're upset. What are we coughing on, my angel? You don't even have anything in your mouth. Yeah, you like the design on my shirt? You can play with it. Yeah. Is it poops or toots? Do I need to smell it? I can't tell. Might have just been toots. Might have just been toots. You want to stand right here? Yay, big standing girl. You're standing all on your own. Why are you upset about it? It's great. Honey, you did it. You were standing all on your own. That was so good. Okay, you want to read with Mommy? Here we go. Let's see. But why would I tell him that? Yeah. My encyclopedia was exactly where I had left it, neatly arranged on the table beneath the fairy stone paperweight, as if it had spent the last weeks in a separate pocket of time. I rested my hand upon the stack, pressing slightly, relishing the familiar rustle of papers, and then I noticed something. I removed the paperweight. In the margin of page 1 was Wendell's familiar scrawl. I flipped through the rest of the manuscript, mouth hanging open slightly. He had not added his opinion to every page, but he had clearly read it from front to back. You want me to open this one? You want some of these? I don't believe you, but I'll give them to you anyway. Yeah, there they are. There they are. If you want to eat them, there they are. Why are you upset? All I did was pour out snacks. Okay, all right. He had taken the liberty of rearranging certain sections and crossing out others. I opened my mouth to call him back to the room, intending to register my displeasure, for I did not require a co-author for something that I had spent much of my adult life compiling. But then it closed again, and I flipped through the notes. Some of his ideas were quite good. Well, I suppose that there was nothing wrong with a little feedback, even if it was the heavy-handed variety. A knock came, and I shuffled over to answer it, one of the blankets wrapped around me. Lila and Margaret stood on the threshold, and on the path below were Mord, Oslog, and Finn. I blinked, startled by so many faces on my doorstep, and Lila gave me a brief and light hug. I know you leave in the morning. I haven't time for farewell parties, she said, so I thought we would just come around and do some baking and help you pack. Marvelous, Wendell said, flopping back into his chair with a cup of tea. I despise packing, so do come in. Yeah, you think that's funny? I realized that I should have said this by now, and I stepped back to let them all tromp inside, banging the snow off of their boots as they went. Mord and Oslog brought an almond cake called, oh dear, I don't know how to pronounce this word, Havitak, maybe? While Finn brought a loaf of the dark Lostlander bread baked into the hot earth, as well as some salted chocolates. Mord looked around the cottage, and Christian fixed... You silly girl. Fixed it up since I last saw it. Calling it a shack would have been generous then. Oh, sorry. I read that wrong because I got distracted. Yeah, you distracted Mommy. I read that in the wrong voice, huh? Yeah, that wasn't the right voice at all because you distracted me. Mord looked around the cottage. Christian's fixed the place since I last saw it. Calling it a shack would have been generous then. He paused before the forest mirror, gazing open-mouthed into the swaying greenery. This looked like the forest I used to play in a boy outside Lobar. Look, there's the willow with the face in the trunk. Where are the tea things, Wendell? Oslog asked. I brought a bottle of red in case anyone cares for something stronger. I'll start with the books, Finn said. And then that was that. Suddenly the place was noisy and bustling as a train station. Finn went back to the main house to fetch spare luggage, returning with Christian. Sweetheart, that's a lovely loud sound. Can we work on our soft sounds? La, 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 la. Yeah, good job. Yeah. With several wooden crates. Wendell and I had accumulated a variety of things over the course of our stay, from Odd's gifts to the fairy cloak, which prompted a great deal of curiosity and discussion. Wendell floated the room, chatting with this person and then that, giving off the impression of contributing while doing no actual work at all. The whole time, I worried that Oslog or Mord would burst into tears of gratitude or offer some extravagant thank you gift and try to come up with a strategy for how I might respond. Fortunately, yeah, let's use our... Can we use our soft girl voice? La 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 la. La 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 la. Yeah, you can play with that. Go ahead. Oh, toot toot, toot toot. Big toot toots. Honey, what is it, my angel? What vexes you so? Why are you so upset right now? You had such a good night. Why don't we have a good morning too? Yeah, you have snacks right here. Look, here's your snacks. Mommy already got them out for you. Throwing your snacks isn't nice. We shouldn't throw our snacks. Let's just eat our snacks. We don't have to throw them. You don't have to throw the snack. Let's just eat it. Here. Okay, you're mad at it? Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Okay, sweetheart. Fortunately, they did no such thing, only cheerfully stormed around with the others, folding and packing and calling questions to me and Wendell. Eventually, I began to worry if I should be making some gesture of thanks. They had saved me after all, as surely as Wendell and I had saved little Ari. What's with you? Lila hissed at me as we... What is it, baby? What's the matter? What do you need? Show Mommy. You can't just point into the middle of nowhere, honey. I don't know what you need. You gotta show Mommy. You gotta give me a little more than that. You have that book. You don't have to ask Mommy for that book. It's right there. Yeah. Yeah. You're okay. You're okay, baby. You're okay. Can Mommy please read? What is it, baby? What is it? What is it, sweetheart? Can Mommy please read? Can Mommy read this one? Can we read it together? Let's see. Where are we? What's with you? Lila hissed at me as we maneuvered the enchanted mirror into a crate that was stuffed with wool. Didn't Wendell heal you? No, I paused. Had Wendell healed me? I felt perfectly myself apart from the chill. I mean, it's not that. I can't think of what I should say. Why must you say anything? Well, I hadn't been expecting that question. Because you rescued me. I mean, all of you, but especially Finn and Oslog. What? Oslog had come up behind me without realizing. Did you call me? Emily feels bad because she wishes to thank us, but she doesn't know how, Lila said, and I went red and began to sputter. To hear it all spelled out so bluntly like that. Oh, don't be silly, Oslog said simply and then gave me a hug. We're as good as family now. And then she went back to bustling as if nothing had changed, as if it was nothing, what she had said. Lila smiled and squeezed my arms. Some cake? I nodded dumbly, and Lila pushed me into a chair and passed me a plate of cake, and I ate it. It was very good. The bottle of wine was polished off by Mord, who spent most of the evening quietly beaming at everyone, particularly when they asked about his son, telling the same story over and over again about how Ari had taken to unexpected objects in his mouth, including the tail of their long-suffering cat, but no one seemed to mind these stories. By the time the Hervitag, whatever that cake is, was gone, I was quite weary, and the clamor of so much company was not helping matters. To my relief, Wendell chose that moment to begin herding everyone out of the cottage, and one by one they went, donning cloaks and boots, and wading out cheerfully into the blowing weather, curls of snow spinning through the cottage in their wake. Wendell glared down at the snow and pressed the door closed with a grimace. "One more," he said grimly, and I didn't have to ask what he meant, although I was not as relieved to be leaving Lostland as he was. What I felt was a complicated tangle of things. Top of most was melancholy. I'd missed Lila and Margaret and the others too. When had that ever happened before? I was beginning to wonder. If the Fairy King had somehow changed me. "Wendell," I said as he neurotypically adjusted the door. Oh, excuse me, not neurotypically, neurotically. I don't know why I said neurotypically. Neurotically adjusted the doormat. "I believe I know why the king's spell, why it took when it did." And he raised his eyebrows. It was interesting. He wasn't exactly unattractive in his form. When you actually stopped to parse his appearance, it was mostly that he was muted, and yet this did nothing to affect his natural grace or even his ego. "Well," I fumbled the words as I thought back to that night. I was going to, after you asked me about, well, after I asked you to marry me," he said in a tone that I thought was louder than necessary. "Well, yes," I said, trying my hardest to keep my voice ordinary as if I were talking about our research. I felt ridiculous. Any sane person would have turned down his proposal. If there's one thing which the stories, regardless of their origin, agree on, it's that marrying the folk is a very bad idea. Romance, generally, is a bad idea where they're concerned. It hardly ever ends well. And what about my scientific objectivity? It's looking very tattered as of late. Well, that night, I was thinking about it, and I suppose my answer that I'd like to continue thinking about it." He gazed at me with an unreadable expression, and then, to my astonishment, he said, he smiled, not he said, he smiled. "Is it poopies?" "Yeah, you need a diaper change?" "Okay, we're going to change your diaper, and we'll be right back." "After these messages, we'll be right back. Need to change your diaper. Let's change your diaper, let's change your diaper. Let's change your diaper for somebody cute. Let's change your diaper." What can you hold while I change your diaper? Do you want to hold the fishy? Here you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I let him go again. Why did you let him go? Because he bit my finger so. Which finger did he bite? This little finger on the right. Yeah. Pretty good, right? Yeah. And then they threw him away. They said, "Bye, my fishy, don't bite me anymore. Bye, my fishy, don't bite me anymore. No more fishy bites. No more. No more fishy bites. No more fishy bites. Ah, ah, ah." Okay. One more. Hold on. I'm not quite done yet. Gotta get it all off. There's rules here. Yeah. Yeah, there are. There's rules here. We don't leave anything behind in our diaper. No. All cleaned up, right? Yeah, that's right. Okay. A boy. Yeah. Uh-oh, you dropped the fishy. Here's a fishy. You want to take it? You don't want to take the fishy? Okay, new clean diaper. And now we need our diaper cream. Where did it go? How is that possible? Have we misplaced diaper cream? How? What? quite as good. Okay. Okay, hold on. Hold on, please. Hold on. Okay, ready? Can you come with mommy to wash your hands? Where did that diaper cream go? That's so weird. Yeah. Well, mommy's gonna wash your hand right now. Okay. All better. Yeah, all better. All clean. All clean. Do you want this fishy? No? Okay, fine. You don't have to have him. I just thought you wanted him. Wait, why are we crying? Honey, I'm in here too. Sweetheart. Sweetheart, why can you be sad? Honey. Let's do our deep breaths. Ready? Sweetheart, what is it? What is it, baby? What is it? What's the matter, honey? What's wrong? What's wrong? You just need a hug? You just need a hug? Okay, you can have a hug. Okay. All right. You want to sit with mommy while she reads? You can always sit with mommy while she reads. You just have to be a good, quiet girl, okay? What is the matter? Tell mommy. What is it, baby? You want mommy's coffee? That's not happening. No. You can't have mommy's coffee. I'm sorry, sweetheart. No coffee. No coffee for babies. You want milk? You can have milk. No, you don't want milk. Okay. Okay. Remember when I thought we were going to finish this book today? How funny am I? The hubris on this mother. You want a snack? Are you trying to blow? Oh, you want water? You want water? Yeah, you want water? Okay, let's go get a little bit of water. Okay, we'll be right back. We're going to get a little bit of water. Everyone's being very patient with us today, huh? Yeah, that's very nice of them. They're being very patient. Okay, let's get a little bit of water. Okay, hold on. Mommy has to fill it up, though. Are you sure you don't want milk, honey? Okay, you gotta get your fingers out of the way for me to put water in it. Well, hold on, you gotta wait for me to put this on. Okay. See, here's your water. Okay. Okay, let's sit down with our water. Here, right here. There you go, all better. We have water. I made the mistake of telling the baby we were gonna finish it. Yeah, exactly. I definitely made a mistake on that one. Definitely made a mistake of telling her we thought we were gonna finish it. You can drink that water, that's your water. That's right. Let's see, we might still have a chance. It's not that much more. We might still be able to do this, you guys. Yeah, you have your water now. He gazed at me with an unreadable expression, and then to my astonishment, he smiled. What? I said suspiciously. I was just thinking about the fact that you've neither roasted me alive for my presumption nor rejected me outright, and that might be something to marvel at. Well, if you're just going to tease me about it, I muttered, turning away from him. I was surprised to feel his hand brushing then against mine. He crossed the room without a whisper of a sound, his grip feather light. I froze, realizing that he was about to kiss me only a second before I knew that I was going to kiss him. I leaned forward, but then he put his hand on the side of my face very gently, his fingers brushing the edge of my hair. A little shiver went through me. His thumb was by the corner of my mouth, and it made me think of the time when I had touched him there, and when I thought that he was dying from the loss of blood. For a heartbeat, all the other moments that we shared faded away, leaving behind only a small handful of times that we'd been close like this, connected somehow like a bright constellation. He brushed his lips against my cheek, and I felt the warmth sink all the way into my bones, chasing out the ice of the Snow King's court. Good night, Em. You have your water, honey. Yeah. Good night, Em. he murmured, his breath fluttering against my ear and sending a river of goosebumps down my neck. And then he went into his room and he closed the door. I stared at it for a moment as if he were going... Honey, please, baby. Please. You have your water, honey. Yeah, you have it. You have it. I stared at it for a moment as if it were going to explain itself to me, and then I came back to myself with a start and picked up the blankets on the floor and wandered in a daze to my own bedroom. Naturally, I found the place ridiculously clean. Yeah. Yeah. He kissed her. Can you believe it? A kiss, that's right. She blew a kiss when I said that. Mwah! Mwah! Thank you, honey. Thank you, beautiful angel. New scene. Wendell and I stood shivering by the dock the next morning, watching the fishing boat captained by one of Thora's innumerable grandsons pulled against its tether as the sailors readied it for the journey to Lobar. Shadow was flopped at my side, yawning a big doggish yawn, and looking none too pleased to have been roused from his warm bed at such an hour. The world was a blur of shadow and ice, from heaving sea to scowling mountains framing the village. Odd had told us that the weather was fair enough to make the journey safely, and that the winds would drop on the other side of the headland. And I assessed an assessment that I could accept intellectually, while all my instincts assured me that we would certainly be drowned. What seems to be the trouble, sweetheart? Why are you having so much trouble? You blowing me kisses? Mwah! Mwah! Thank you, baby. Odd, who had returned as planned the previous evening, called out instructions to the sailors in Lostlander, looking cheerful, as well she should, for Odd had saved her village, indeed, her entire country. The king, who had only just finished the glorying vengeance that we had left him for, like a wedding gift, was... Sweetheart, please. Please, honey. Yeah. Can you play quiet? Can you be a quiet girl? La, 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 la. Thank you, honey. Yeah, for sure, Amanda. I mean, the thing is, she's just playing with this water bottle, but she's playing with it so loudly. She thinks it's hilarious. You think it's funny? Mwah. The king, who had only just finished glorying in the vengeance we had left for him like a wedding gift. Honey, how's mommy supposed to read if you always talk over her, huh? What happened? Sweetheart, nothing even happened. I just picked up the water bottle for you, baby. The water's right here. Here, look. You don't want the water anymore? What happened, honey? What is it? Okay, all right. Had immediately granted her request and ended the vicious winter and an early spring. As to my whereabouts, Odd had given the king few clues, apart from the offering that she had seen me fleeing the palace in the direction of the valley, and in a panic at the thought of pursuit by the queen's minions. Shaking her head, she remarked that if I had succumbed to the elements or tumbled off a cliff, poor witless waif that I was, it was yet another crime to be laid at the doorstep of the queen's treasonous ambitions. The king seemed barely able to hide his glee at this notion, and had immediately taken up my death as justification for another round of executions, which no doubt sent even more nobles, still those in possession of their heads, into hiding in the wilderness. I know, it's true. She's quiet until I start to read, and then she's like, I think I should talk over her. Right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She's nodding her head in agreement. Mm-hmm. Good burp, honey. That was a good burp. Mm. 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 As for myself, I was more than happy. Everyone's a critic. Yeah. Do you want this one? No, you don't want this one. Okay. What's over there?
Blah.
Yeah, you can play with that.
Blah.
Of course, sweetheart, of course. As for myself, I was more than happy for my death to be accepted as a boon by my fiancé, particularly as it gave him ample incentive to give up the search for me. Nevertheless, it was well that we were leaving quickly. It's true. Yeah. I wish to prevent any hint of my survival from reaching his court. Honey, how is anyone supposed to listen to Mommy read if you talk over me, honey? How? You want to read? Go ahead. Do the reading. Despite the early hour, the entire village came to see us off as we boarded the ship, even little Ari, who buried his head in Mord's shoulder when I said goodbye, shy as you would be with any stranger. Here you are, Aslog said, handing me a basket of sheep cheese I'd come to favor. It's a silly gift, isn't it, after all you've done for us? What is it, baby? Your food's right here. Snack's right here. Baby. What is it, honey? Mommy's just trying to read. Honey, I'm trying to finish this book. Yeah, let's read together. I mumbled my way through the goodbyes and the thank yous, but nobody seemed to mind anymore. Lila and Margaret hugged me tight. Here, Lila said, pressing a basket into my hand. Sweetheart, please. Please, honey. Be nice to Mommy. Here, Lila said, pressing a basket into my hands, and I lifted the cloth covering to find 5 neatly stacked apple tarts. Finn said you have a liking for them. Ah, I began, wincing a little. Each tart weighed about as much as a brick. That's very kind of you, but I'm not sure I'd be able to. Please, Lila said, a gleam of desperation in her eye. That tree, it doesn't stop. I've already got preserves to last a decade. The neighbors are so sick of apples that they hide when I knock on their doors. I shook my head. Naturally, Wendell, in typical fairy fashion, had given Lila a gift that created more problems than it solved. I knew that Lila would be terrified of wasting a single apple for fear of him taking offense. Throw the surplus to the pigs, I suggested, because wouldn't that just serve Wendell right? She looked horrified, and I felt guilty. Or trade them, I said, perhaps to a sailor or a wandering merchant. You might be surprised at what you get in return. Indeed, I knew 6 stories of that poor ilk, long-suffering mortals giving away troublesome fairy-made gifts in exchange for something mundane, but which revealed some unexpected uses. Sometimes that's the trade for something even more wondrous, and on it goes. I hoped that Lila would end up with a wheel that spun straw into gold. Aude's embrace was the longest one, and when she drew away, her face was wet with tears. Fortunately, Thora slumped before I had to work out how to respond to her. How does one respond to tears, anyway? 2 things, she said, taking me by the shoulders. 1, look out for yourself. Wise men make bargains with the folk, only idiots make friends with them, or whatever he is to you. Ooh. Lord help me, I went red in the face at that statement. You think I'm an idiot? Even the smartest among us are idiots in one way or another, she said. Ain't that the truth? 2, I expect you to get back here in the spring for Lila and Margaret's wedding. My granddaughter doesn't like to impose on people, but you being there would make her so happy, so I'll say it for her. And I smiled. Yes, of course I'll be there. Good girl, she patted me. Now run along. I'll mail you my, what did you call it? My peer review. Thank you, I said. Thora had promised to read through a draft of my final chapter in the encyclopedia, providing her thoughts and additions. And please don't worry about being... Oh, sorry, this is her. And please don't worry about being polite with your criticism. She blinked at me and then she smiled and gave me a surprisingly firm shove. You've a mouth on you like one of my grandchildren. My gaze drifted to the village, huddled into the night shore, as my hand went to the little trinket the Poe had given me as a farewell gift. He called it a key, although it looked nothing like one, and in fact it was small, impossible coil of bone. In some lights, it seemed to curve counterclockwise, and in others, it looked clockwise. I put it on a chain around my neck. Wendell then appeared at my side, having finished giving instructions to the sailors, and had twisted his misshapen face into a smile. He fixed his uncanny hands and added a few inches to his height, but he was still a long way from his former dazzling self. Ready? He asked. The villagers shuffled back a little. They'd all accepted this strange gray fairy was the dashing Wendell Bambley, but it didn't make them any less frightened of him, even though the face he wore now was far less intimidating than his old, painfully handsome face. As for myself, I barely noticed the difference. I'd never had any use for his beauty, and he was unchanged in any other respect, including his ability to antagonize me. He tailored all of my dresses whilst I was trapped in Fairy. We said our last goodbyes, and then we stepped onto the rocking dock. Wendell took his time, waving to the villagers and admiring the sights of Hrovsnik fading into the night. I turned away as soon as I could and didn't look back or wave. If I had, I would have seen Odd and Lila brushing away their tears. I would have also seen the outline of our little cottage, which ordinarily had a curl of smoke drifting from the chimney. But now it sat quiet and dark, dreaming. Shadow gave a huff, looking back at me as if certain that there had been some mistake. My eyes went wet and I had to dab at them with my sleeve, turning so that Wendell wouldn't see. Well, damn this wind, I thought. Yeah, she thinks the wind is what's making her. That's yours. Yeah, that's yours. I hugged Lila's apple tarts to my chest. Sweetheart, let's use our inside voice. Say la 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 la. Yeah. La 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 la. I hugged Lila's apple tarts to my chest and I gazed at the gray-white sea. My hand was tight around Poe's trinket. The ship sailed on as the sun began to tip its light over the horizon. Whew! That took a really long time to get through, thanks to this little lady. But let's see, where are we? We're so close, you guys. We're on page 310, and there's only 317. I'm really just going to try to do this. I'm going to try real hard to finish this today. Like, I'm going to try so hard. Yeah. Can you be quiet, girl, for just 7 pages? Yeah, here, it's right here. You have to come over here and get it, though. I'm not going to bring it to you. You have to come get it. You know how. You know how to get it. I'm going to try real hard. 13th. Lord help me. She says she's going to try, and then she gets screamed at. Yeah, it goes over here. Right here. Whee! You are making an absolute mess of these treats. 13th February. In the end, we missed the plenary. It didn't much matter, of course. Wendell sat on the 3 panels and charmed his way onto a 4th one, and I charmed my way onto another. I sat through the interminable dinners without overly hating them. I was on familiar ground with these scholars and even enjoyed some of my conversations, for they were conversations of the mind with nothing to do with small talk or social convention. And then it was time for our presentation. I paced about in the little room behind the stage. Through the half-open door, I could see the 2 podiums, as well as many scholars filling into the room with their dowdy suits and their dresses. Many of them wore coats, for if there's one thing that unites scholars, it's complaining about temperatures in conference rooms. Wendell swept in at last, looking resplendent, all sharp edges, lean and grace in his own black suit, as plain as any other scholar's, but immaculately tailored. His gaze swept over me in polite appraisal, although I could tell that he was suppressing his smile. What do you think she's saying? Eh? I glowered back. I was wearing one of the dresses that he'd fixed up out of necessity, only for I hadn't had the money to buy new ones in Paris, and we had no time to stop at our apartments in Cambridge. It had taken him a full 2 days to return to his former glory, which he spent most of the time in his cabin on the ship staring into a mirror and muttering to himself as he moved his nose this way and that or stretched out his limbs. It was an appalling process, and I had spent as little time as possible in his company during the homeward voyage. All exhibits are prepared, he said, and I nodded, awaiting behind the podium 3 trunks, one containing the remnants of the fairy cloak, now badly melted but still recognizable, one a necklace that the king had given me, a delicate spider web of ice chains that, unlike the cloak, did not melt, and at last a jagged spire of volcanic rock from one of Christian's fields, in which there was a tiny wooden door that vanished in direct sunlight. I felt like a magician. He held his hand out to me. I accepted it, feeling a little shiver as I did, and he smiled. He seemed especially happy with himself lately. I guess the source of his pleasure was to be his transformation back to his old self. We're about to create quite a stir, he said, looking misty at the prospect. And just think, if you finished mulling over my proposal by now and said yes, we could have introduced you as Mrs. Wendell Bandley. They'd never stop talking about us then. I gave him a thoughtful look. What? He said. It's your chin. It's still a little crooked. And his hand immediately went to the feature. It is not. I shrugged. Oh, perhaps it's just my imagination. Oh, she's messing with him now. While he prodded at his jaw, I looked back at the crowd, the assembled scholars arguing quietly with one another or sitting mullishly with their arms crossed as if already going over their criticisms in their head. I drew a deep breath, tightening my grip on my notes, and then we stepped onto the stage. Well then. I know. Tell me all about it. All right. New section. This particular tale is one of the oldest in Ireland. It's told throughout the northwest counties in varying iterations. Appended here for future reference. E.W. I assume that's Emily Wilde. The Golden Ravens, or The Serving Girl and Her Fairy Housekeepers. Oh, we get a story now. You want to hear a story, honey? Okay, Mommy will tell a story. There once was a kingdom in the bleak and mountainous northern Ireland called Birr, which was ruled by an old queen with 12 sons and daughters, including one who was half folk. The prince was the youngest of the lot and the least likely to inherit the throne, and thus, in typical fairy fashion, he went about improving his odds in a roundabout way that nevertheless proved quite effective. He released the queen's 3 golden ravens into the wild, which had been gifted to her by a powerful witch for luck, and this caused great sorrow to spread over the land. The queen's other children began squabbling amongst themselves, culminating in treacherous intrigues and assassinations. After the golden ravens were released, the ordinary peasants of Birr also met with misfortune one after another. Crops failed, and cursed children were common. One of those was an adopted daughter of a poor serving woman. The daughter was unnaturally clumsy and brought disorder with her wherever she went, which made the serving woman's lot very hard. Yeah, these are the stories she said she added, so the whole thing must actually be over. The mother and daughter were dismissed from their position after position, being unable to keep any house clean despite their best efforts. One bleak winter, the mother died, leaving her barely grown daughter to fend for herself. Everyone in town knew the daughter's reputation, and she couldn't find work. In desperation, she ventured far into the white, wild mountains until she came upon a castle owned by a duchess, the queen's sister. Living in such a remote location, the Duchess and her family were always short-staffed, and so the Duchess hired the serving girl on the spot. The Duchess set the serving girl a simple task: scrub the floors of the kitchen, particularly minding the corners where the spiders had built their nests. But this task was not simple for the cursed serving girl. No sooner had she scrubbed the floor to a shine than she tripped and upset the spice rack. The spices spilled everywhere, mingling with the damp of the newly washed floor to form a fragrant mud. The serving girl at once set to cleaning it again, but it was no use. She seemed only able to move the muck from one place to another, and she went to bed weeping, certain that she would be dismissed again. Hey, Isabella. But when she came into the kitchen in the morning, she found the Duchess in a state of delight. The kitchen gleamed as it had never before. Even the corners, every last spider had been relocated to a luxurious, intricate web high above the rafters. The Duchess and her family begged to know how the serving girl made the floor shine so, like a winter pond in the starlight. What on earth had she done to the spices which filled the kitchen with a scent as if newly ground? The serving girl realized that the castle must have been home to the Oche-Sidde, the little fairies' housekeepers. They must have plucked each grain of spice one by one with their clever fingers and dried them with their breath. The girl kept her mouth shut, overwhelmed by her good luck. Well, that's cool. Are you trying to get this book? You want this book? There it is. As the days passed, the family's respect for the serving girl only grew. Never had they had such shining floors, windows of such purity as if made of air, such fragrant, spotless bedding. They didn't know that they only had such things because the Oche-Sidde had worked twice as hard to clean up the messes made by the serving girl, who couldn't cross the floor without leaving a muddy trail behind, nor open a window without smearing it with handprints, nor pin the bedding up to dry without it being blown across the field into some muddy puddle. But then began a series of strange events. After the serving girl dusted portraits, somehow managing to summon more dust than had been there before, the portraits the next morning were not only free of dust, but everyone in them had their hair combed and their clothes brushed and straightened. After the serving girl washed the Duchess's dogs, they were found the next day with their hair in elaborate ringlets. Rearranging furniture would cause the room and the windows to change shape, taking on a rigid and unnatural symmetry. Laundry was the worst of all. After the serving girl washed it to the best best of her lamentable abilities, clothes not only cleaned themselves to spotlessness, but they grew threads of gold and buttons of ivory. No, you can only have this book if we're not going to rip it. We're not going to rip this book, honey. No. If the serving girl cleaned the chicken coop, the chickens would appear the next morning with their beaks polished and their feathers pomaded, looking very self-satisfied. The Duchess and her husband began watching the serving girl with concerned looks, encouraging her to take frequent breaks for tea and to lie down. They didn't send her away, though. Indeed, they more than doubled her pay to ensure that she would never wish to leave them. The serving girl began to fear that she was driving the Ocheside mad with her impossible messes. She knew the poor creatures did abhor disorder so. Further evidence of this came in an unexpected and unpleasant form of a sudden wet smack to her face when she was working, rather like being struck with a small and invisible mop. The serving girl lived in terror that the Ocheside would murder her one day. Eventually, the serving girl snuck out into the woods where an old witch lived and begged for help. In exchange for one of the pomaded chickens, the witch informed her that the serving girl's curse had originated in the royal family with the youngest prince, and only he could undo the curse. Fortunately, the serving girl knew the queen, and all her children were due a visit to the queen's sister soon. The night before their arrival, the serving girl took her shabbiest dress, freshly stained with kitchen grease, and tore it to shreds and scattered it all over the kitchen floor. When the serving girl awoke in the morning, she found in place of her old dress, the loveliest, most eccentric gown imaginable. It was quite clear that the Ocheside were indeed going mad, for the dress was at odds with itself, one moment deciding to be a murky green pond, and the next ocean blue or harvest brown. It was festooned with baubles and ribbons like a Christmas tree, including a crystal that showed flashes of strange features like a hedgehog, with its tiny claws climbing from the pocket to pocket as the mood took it. The dress had an infinite number of pockets. Yeah. Dubious, the girl donned this dress and went downstairs. The castle was full of royal attendants and various hangers-on, all bustling about importantly. As her ridiculous dress, everyone assumed she was a relation of the Duchess. She asked one of the ladies' maids where the youngest prince could be found, and she was told he was in the garden. She found the prince wandering the garden with a displeased look on his face, for those whose blood is half folk and half mortal exist in a state of perpetual displeasure. The typical games of the folk leave them perplexed, while they find mortal pursuits just rather dull. In truth, the prince was only scheming... Yes, I'll open this for you. We're almost done. The prince was only scheming to obtain the throne for want of anything better to do with himself. The prince took one look at the serving girl and fell instantly in love with her, just as she had hoped. Most young men fell in love instantly with her when she wasn't dressed in rags and covered in stains, as the serving girl was beautiful, with black eyes, pale golden hair, and a skin of darker gold, and a strange but irresistible combination. The Duchess was furious when the prince expressed his intention to marry her cherished serving girl, but she could not very well gainsay the queen's favorite son. On her wedding day, the serving girl was elated. Once they were wed, she planned to order the prince to undo the curse, and if he did not, as her husband, he would have to share it and endure a life of mess and disorder. She was certain that the curse that had plagued her every season of life would soon be broken. In a way, the serving girl was right. The Ocheside fashioned her a magnificent wedding gown, although it was also rather lunatic, having not one but 8 hedgehogs roaming from pocket to pocket, as well as a bodice that was a portal to fairy if turned inside out, and a train with a ghost hiding in it, who disrupted the service with a burst of cackling. Yeah, that's pretty funny. This is my little ghost who disrupts things with a burst of cackling. At the banquet after their nuptials, the serving girl naturally managed to spill the entire contents of a gravy boat upon herself, the sight of which their finest handiwork in ruin finally broke the Ocheside. They swarmed out into plain view, as the Ocheside never normally do. The halfling men and women, with their color of dust, began walloping the serving girl with their fairy mops. No one and nothing could stop them. The wedding guests began to fear that their new princess would be beaten to death, and whenever the prince tried to pull his bride to safety, the hedgehogs would bite him. Golden feathers began to fly through the air, and the wedding guests could not make sense of it. The Ocheside kept whacking the serving girl until she split apart like an overripe plum. You want more? And she became what she had been long ago, though neither she nor her mother who raised her had guessed it. She was a golden raven, one of the 3 enchanted birds that the prince had released to bring strife to the kingdom. The serving girl flitted out of the window, free at last, while the Ochesidae dusted their hands and went smiling back to their hiding. They stopped pollinating chickens and turning pajamas into evening wear, which was ultimately a relief to the Duchess, who had been down to her last nightgown. And as for the prince, the serving girl's disappearance finally gave him a purpose in life. He retreated into the wilderness to learn the magic from the witches and any folk who would teach him. Eventually, he succeeded in turning himself into a raven, whereupon he flew off in search of his beloved. In the northeast of Ireland, it is said that he's still searching for his golden bride to this day. And if you listen closely, you can hear her name in the croaking of the ravens. Well, I guess that's the end. Wow. That was a really up and down day, thanks to someone. I won't mention any names. But that was it. That was it. We actually did it. And only 9 minutes late. Only 9 minutes late, my angel. Can you believe that? Well, that was a wild journey. Tomorrow... Okay, I'm going to take it off the tripod so that I can move the tripod. Tomorrow, we will start Tale of Magic. And we will cross our fingers that someone likes Tale of Magic better than she liked Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies so that we can read it. Yeah, that's the goal. We want a nice, quiet read tomorrow. You think that's funny? You think that's funny? Yeah. Yeah, Tale of Magic comes tomorrow. Not too bad when in context. Yeah, not too bad when in context. I'm very excited also. So we finished this one, and I will see you all tomorrow for hopefully a quieter read. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. All right, say bye-bye.